Testing. 1, 2, 3. We are on the live stream. Carte Blanche for the Sports Hit List. By the fans and for the fans. We are live right now. I am going to share this video. Please make sure you share with all your friends, and share all over the place, all over social media. Thank you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon, November 17th, 2021. Excuse me. And we are live right now. November 17th, 2021. Excuse me. And we are live right now. November 17th, 2000. Oh, let's mute that. As I hit share all over the place. Share. Just share it. Show's getting underway. Podcast Nation. I'm sharing. Finish. Thank you, everyone, for joining me here on the Sports Hit List. Carte Blanche here, by the fans and for the fans. Today, we're going to have our regular NBA Roundup. Special shout out to my guy, Clint Hall, who's a new dad. I love the name, Sullivan, a.k.a. Sully. So special shout out to you, bro. I see you in watching the show, man. And kudos to you and your family on your newborn. Definitely a precious gift. So can't wait to see little guy. Hopefully little guy pulls up on the live. The Sports Hit List has notorious for kids coming in during interviews. So it's a blessing. It's a wonderful thing, bro. And hopefully we get to link up. I know you're down south. Hopefully we get to meet up one day. Uncle Carl. For sure, man. For sure. I definitely got to send them a Celtics onesie to make them feel at home. So again, special shout out to Clint Hall, who's a contributor to the Sports Hit List, our brand new son, Sullivan, aka Sully. So with that said, we are here to talk some sports. I'm going to bring in Mike Phillips and Mr. Numbers to talk about Carlos Correa's recent comments on Derek Jeter about how Derek Jeter did not deserve his awards. And that didn't so well with me. And a lot of Sports Hit List contributors have a problem with what I said. It's just explanation and having conversation that I love to have conversations that people are afraid to have, and I'm not afraid to say it. But for some reason, people have a problem with it. So I'm going to bring in my guys, and we're going to have a brief conversation, and we're also going to lead into we will have a conversation about the NBA Roundup, our favorite segment on Wednesdays, featuring Mike Miller and Ziggy Zig. Mike, you need to turn your phone, buddy. There we go. Thank you, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Mr. Numbers, can you hear me? Mr. Numbers is not in here yet. So I don't know if you had a chance to. Are you here?
Yes, I could hear you.
How you doing, sir?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm at Iona right now. I got class in an hour, so I do the show and then go to class. So can't wait to see you in the spring.
I have to say, I'm honored. I'm actually on a segment with Mr. Numbers. I appreciate it. I've never been on the same segment with him.
Oh, well, there's a first time for everything. So Carlos Correa, I've been debating this all day. People seem to have a problem. They think I don't understand what I'm talking about. And, I don't watch baseball, so I can be wrong. And I'm not allowed to disagree when somebody says a person doesn't deserve an award. And they think I'm making this about Derek Jeter. But I'm mostly making this about the narrative of, when we see somebody don't get an award, who's to blame for it? And they're saying, well, it goes without saying the voters. But we seem to be discussing the player more so than the voters. That's my perspective. That's my take. So, guys, let's get into it. Let's have the quick discussion about, Carlos Correa's comments, how voters are perceived, because I've tried to use the example of Oscar awards, and they said, well, that's not in context with what I'm talking about, but I think it is. So, Andres, let me start with you. What are your thoughts about what Correa said? And also the discussion about when players don't win awards and we label the ones who get them that they don't deserve it.
I think it's two different things, the not deserving and what Carlos Correa did. Carlos Correa, can you hear me loud and clear, right?
Loud and clear, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you know Carlos Correa, he said numerous times that he's an analytics guy, right? A lot of people don't like analytics. We know what it is. Obviously in baseball, it's really good if you use them. A lot of people don't like to use it in sports in general. But if you look at the analytics, right, and you look at the defensive run save, which is what Correa was looking at, and the UZR, which is like a stat that measures how good you are defensively on the field. Jeter was abysmal. A lot of people know Derek Jeter for his offense and for his moments in the postseason batting wise, not defensive wise. A lot of people know that throw to the plate against the Athletics, the one where he cut off. But there's nothing wrong with what Correa. There's nothing wrong with what Correa is saying, first of all, because it's his opinion. How are you going to tell Carlos Correa that he's wrong? So this is the problem with journalism today. A lot of people love to form their opinions because someone else said it. So Carl, let's say you say, I don't know, let's say you say Jaylen Brown is the best Robin in the NBA, right? Now everyone's going to start saying it because that's the status quo, and it shouldn't be like that, So what Correa, I don't have a problem with what he said because it's his opinion. You can't tell him that he's wrong. If you look at the statistics, and you look at the defensive run save, you look at everything, Derek Jeter wasn't a good defender, you know what I mean? And this is no secret. Even Yankee fans know it. Even the diehard Yankee fans know this. The casual Yankee fans know. It's like every single Yankee fans know that Derek Jeter wasn't that guy defensively. Now, to answer the second part of your question, did he deserve his gold gloves? I mean, I would have to look at the statistics from other players. I'm not going to say that he didn't because A, B, and C. You could say that, who could you say? Let's say Nomar Garciaparra. Nomar Garciaparra maybe deserved the Gold Glove in 2006 because X, Y, and Z. But if you're gonna argue for someone that didn't deserve it, for example, at least bring out the statistics. Here's another example. Tomorrow the MVP is gonna get revealed. Correct? You have Juan Soto, you have Bryce Harper, and you have Tatis Jr. Soto and Harper literally have identical numbers. It's literally, if you want an apple or an orange, they're literally right there. I've been going back and forth. I've been looking at a lot of statistics to see who I think deserves MVP. But I don't think Tatis is going to win it. But there's another great example. So between Soto and Harper, they literally have identical stats. It's up to you who you think, not the media, not the person on the street, who you think is MVP. So I don't think Correa is wrong because it's his opinion.
All right. Thank you, Andres. Special shout out to my cousin Compafit, who's watching, another YouTuber. Make sure you check out her page. I cross collaborate with her a lot. Mike Phillips, what are your thoughts here? What are your thoughts on what Correa said? The discussion about a player deserving of an award. I tried to use the example to Greg. I said, you're not deserving of your spot on Smoke and Mirrors because there's somebody else waiting. Can I say that? And he's just like, oh, that's out of context. I'm like, but you're not deserving of the spot. You're just there. And he's just like, no, I can't say that.
So I think you're out of context with what you're saying about, the next man up, there's somebody in the waiting to take that spot in regards to Greg and Smoke and Mirrors. What Mr. Numbers said, and it's just you trying to rile up everybody, Mr. EP, when you say things like that. And look at the smirk on your face. I should take.
I'm asking a fair question. It's the same thing as people saying. Statistically, I look at Greg.
Okay.
Statistically, I look at when Greg is on, the numbers of the sports hit list are down. So therefore, he doesn't deserve the spot that he's in. What's the difference with what I said about Jeter? What's the context?
By the way, you also just made a false statement because when Greg is on, we've already seen in other shows that the numbers do go up. So stop yourself. Stop with the nonsense. Let's get on to what
you see what I'm doing though.
Hold on.
You see what I'm doing.
You're making ifs. Right? You're making ifs.
I'm not making ifs. It's the same thing as the Oscar.
Let him cook, bro. Let him cook. Come on.
It's the same thing as an Oscar. Go ahead, sir, please.
Mr. Numbers said it's the person's opinion, and he's absolutely right. What I think is when we look at these writers, and I mentioned this on the Fan Zone last night, who's to say I can't go and write an article about Noah Syndergaard right now, put it to a newspaper, and all of a sudden I'm a beat writer, right? I'm a sports beat writer. Right. Now, do I have the opportunity to give my opinion on who I think are going to win special awards? On what? Is it on numbers? Is it on specific statistics that all of them are looking at the same time? Now, you have to look at when Derek Jeter was playing, right? So Carlos Correa can say what his numbers are now comparative to Derek Jeter. That is not to say that if it was Carlos Correa versus Derek Jeter, that Derek Jeter would have possibly won those Gold Gloves. But you have to see who his competition was during those 5 years. So for him to turn around and say he was not deserving of those because of X, Y, and Z in his numbers is a false statement only because, and yes, it is his opinion and we're all entitled to it. Me as a fan, I give opinions on everything. I'm mostly wrong, but I don't care. I will fight people on my opinion because that is my opinion. What I'm saying with this, though, is Carlos Correa is out of base on this because it was a different time of baseball. I can remember not only Derek Jeter's hits in the playoffs, and I'm talking as a Mets fan. I can remember Derek Jeter diving into the stands, coming up bloody with the ball in his glove. I can remember him making that throw, that cutoff throw to home against the A's and the tag. I can remember these type of plays because of his defensive, his defensive ways. I remember him at shortstop. You can't take away from the fact numbers or not. In big games, he was not putting up the errors. In big games, he was coming out there and he was giving you his all defensively. So for us to turn around and say 2021 MLB to 2005 and on MLB, it was a different ball game. You can't turn around and say all of a sudden we're going to look at different. You think Derek Jeter can then turn around and look at somebody from the 90s and say, man, this man should have never won Gold Gloves. I would have won 8 of them. Okay, you might have. But you won your 5 in the 2000s. Carlos Correa got his 1. He shouldn't be making that type of opinion. And I don't know if it's a good look. If the Yankees are looking at him as a possible Derek Jeter Jr., in a sense, to taking over shortstop, you really think you want to piss off the Yankees organization? And I don't mean organization as in players. I'm talking about the fans. Because we know how New York fans are. So what is he really trying to do here? Is it maybe sabotaging his ways to the Yankees and maybe wanting to go somewhere else and trying to build his stock with other teams? We have to look at the narrative, too, on what's being brought up.
Okay, well, let me ask this. Is it a fair question to say, again, what Andre says is his opinion, right? Could it have been worded that, the voters got it wrong? That's my point, is that we sit here and I asked this question, who puts in the votes?
The writers.
The writers.
The writers.
So the writers, is it fair to say that the writers got it wrong? And the writers are the ones to blame. You could say that. And you could place onus and say, listen, that the writers are to blame for the reason why Derek Jeter has his 5 Gold Gloves.
Absolutely.
Just
like the writers.
I disagree, though.
You disagree?
Just like the writers. The writers are to blame for Barry Bonds not being a Hall of Famer. You can't look at me dead in the eye and tell me that Barry Bonds is not a Hall of Famer. Right. So who are you blaming for that? The writers.
No, but I'm not saying that we're blaming. People think I'm blaming the players. I'm just trying to change the conversation from the player didn't deserve it to the writers are to blame for why this player doesn't have those awards.
But no, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so the reason why I disagree, Carl, is because we don't know what the writers were looking at, right? We don't know, just like us as fans, we're picking specific statistics to look at. They could be looking at statistics nobody's looking at. That's why I disagree, because you could say the writers got it wrong, but in the writers' eyes, with what statistics they were looking at comparative to the top 5 shortstops in that time or the top 5 defensive players in that time, they might have gotten it absolutely right. It could have been a specific statistic that Derek Jeter was above everybody else. We don't know that because we're not at that table looking at it. It's not just, okay, I'm going to take a look at, who has the prettiest face and I'm going to pick that person as, the winner of the award. Now, could it have also been the success of the team that might have helped Derek Jeter? I don't know, but that could go into the conversation. If it was someone like, for example, we have the NL, all 3 of those players, none of them made the playoffs, right? So now we get to, or most of the players in the MLB MVP race didn't make the playoffs. So now we really get to see the true talent of the player, not necessarily the success of the team. So maybe that is the other narrative too, Carl.
To add on to what Mike was saying, because what he's saying is 100% true. for example, Carl, there's a lot of people that say that Miles Turner right now deserves Defensive Player of the Year because he has 100 and something blocks, but that's not the criteria to look at, right? Maybe 30 years ago when they determined the Defensive Player of the Year, maybe they were looking at steals and blocks. There's a lot of people in the sports hit list streets. I had to say that because you always say that, Carl. So there's a lot of people in the sports hit list streets that they use steals and blocks as a way to measure defense in the NBA, right? So like Mike was saying, maybe the writers, they're like, you know what? Let's look at A, B, and C. Oh, Derek Jeter is 95% in this. Oh, he's 95% in this. Oh, okay. So that's how they voted for him. So the resources that writers have now isn't what they had 10 years ago, like Mike was saying. Like, we can't penalize Jeter for winning those awards because they didn't have the same resources. For example, that's like me saying in 1987, Michael Jordan didn't deserve his Defensive Player of the Year because the Bulls were X, Y, and Z, and the Rockets with Hakeem Olajuwon were X, Y, and Z. So what Mike is trying to say is the resources that we have now, we didn't have them 10 years ago.
And I think that's the argument. Well, I can list some of the players. I mean, this is going to be mixed, but I'll list you the shortstop in the league from 2006, right? Derek Jeter, Michael Young, Jose Reyes, Jimmy Rollins, Julio Lugo.
Carl, there's AL and NL Gold Gloves.
Right, yeah, so. but this just lists the shortstop, so you guys probably can figure out who's on what league they played in. But I'm just going through a list of them. Felipe Lopez, you have Rafael.
God Fruto, damn, I'm old. Oh my God.
Bobby Crosby, Carlos Guillen, Nomar Garcia-Parra, BJ Upton, Clint Barnes, and Khalil Green. Those just to name a few of the players who were.
So a couple of those years, all right. I'm gonna just say right off the bat, I think
those are some of those players from that era.
So the race usually was Derek Jeter, Nomar Garcia-Parra. It was usually a 1-2, and then BJ Upton coming in. He had a couple of good years. It was usually those two.
And you know what? Sorry to cut you off. Remember, A-Rod switched too. So A-Rod was a shortstop.
Well, that was the other thing. That was the other thing. George Steinbrenner didn't want A-Rod playing shortstop, and George and everyone in the Yankees organization knew that A-Rod was a better fielder than Jeter, but they wanted to make Jeter the guy, so they moved A-Rod to third when they acquired him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. Finish your point.
No, I was just gonna say, like, some of those names that you put, like Jimmy Rollins, obviously NL, he was up there. Jose Reyes, NL, he was up there. But then you look at the AL, there weren't many AL in that, right? It was mostly NL that you were naming out of those shortstops. So those AL, it was really a top three, top four during that era.
Miguel Tejada, he was an AL guy.
Yeah, Miguel Tejada, Carlos Guillen, Nomar Garcia-Parra.
Yeah, those were AL guys. Yeah.
So Miguel Tejada was there, but it was mostly his time. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Numbers. It was mostly his time with Baltimore that made him, the shortstop that everybody loved when he was with the Baltimore Orioles. I believe that's where he came up with.
Yep.
But but again, a lot of those players were just coming into the league. Derek Jeter was already in the league for so many years. So he was that veteran presence. That's the other thing. Like I said, Mr. Numbers brings up a great point about Miles Turner, right? We talk about he has over 100 blocks already, so he should be Defensive Player of the Year. But how many points are people cooking him for?
Right. And again, I think my biggest part of the argument, but my biggest part of the argument, which I think people have a trouble understanding, is, again, I'm placing more pressure on the owners. I mean, not the owners, excuse me, the voters, because clearly they're the ones who are making the votes. It's not the players who are making them.
Absolutely. I mean, listen,
I don't know. Go ahead.
Right. You may not know, but we don't know what criteria.
No, but we don't know what criteria they used, bro. Listen, I don't mean to be biased right now, but
let me ask this. So then, based off their selection, could you look at what the criteria was?
No, because the criteria that I'm looking at to compare shortstop A, B, and C is not what the criteria that the writers were looking at. So if I look at Derek Jeter and I look at Nomar Garcia-Parra's numbers right now defensively, and I conclude that Nomar Garcia-Parra has better numbers, then I'm going to say that Nomar Garcia-Parra deserves the award. But that's not what the writers used 10 years ago.
There might have been a specific stat. I'm saying there might have been I'm saying yes in regards that if they show me the criteria they're using, and then I'm able to do the same thing they're doing, hopefully I'm coming up with the same results. Because if I'm not, then it's on the writer's opinion, and it's all bullshit.
But what I'm saying though is that there has to be something that you can look at and say Jeter was great at, because Mr. Numbers
just said double plays. It could have been double plays.
It could have been errors. It could have been errors. It could have been putouts. It could have been assists. It could have been double plays, like Mike said. Like, we don't know for sure what criteria they used. Or can we blame the writers? Absolutely not, because We don't know what they use. If I go up to a writer from 10 years ago that voted for Derek Jeter, I'm going to be like, hey, what did you use to determine? And they're going to be like, oh, he was the most popular player in baseball. And maybe that's the reason why they voted for Derek Jeter. Like, we don't know.
So is there a solution to, I always ask this question. I ask this question to my students, so I'm going to ask you guys this.
Oh, my Lord. Hold up. Okay, now I'm ready.
Are polls an accurate accurate tally of public information? Are polls the only way to go for us to figure out who wins an award?
No.
So how do you book it then? How do you go about awards? Because every single year someone wins an award, there's always going to be a crowd that says they didn't deserve it. This person deserved it. It happens in the NBA. It happens in the NFL. It happens in. So I'm talking about sports in general. You don't want to do polls. How do we conclude who wins awards?
Carl, there's a difference between someone that doesn't deserve an award and another candidate that was better. There's nothing.
Can you explain that to me, sir? Please, I would love to hear that explanation.
I'm glad you asked. In 2019, James Harden put up video game numbers, right? And Giannis also put up video game numbers. And the narrative was James Harden got robbed. He did not get robbed because Giannis was a deserving candidate just as he was. You can't sit here and look at Giannis's number for 2019 and like they haven't been done since like the Jim Crow era and say with a straight face, oh, he didn't deserve it. James Harden deserved it. You can't say that.
So then how do we fix award shows? Then how do we fix it without people voting?
You're not gonna make everyone happy.
It's a flawed system that can't be corrected. I'm sorry to say, because there's always going to be a specific narrative that's going to be brought up. Even if we were to see every single statistic, every single narrative that writers are using and different polls that they're using to be able to choose the best athletes, there is always going to be a fan or a group of fans that are always going to say the writers got it wrong. There is no way. It's the same thing, and I'm sorry to go back to politics, but it is the same thing in how we vote for our government. No one is ever going to be happy, as even democratic the right is to vote for who you want. It is still not that right. And it's still not that perfect, that there's still going to be a group of people.
So it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. Is it terrible? It's like the way we make it seem is like, it's like, oh my God, it's the worst thing that can happen when we're saying that person doesn't deserve the award.
It's not that. It's just, honestly, sorry, Mike. The thing that pisses me off the most is athletes that get holy shit, that get screwed out of money. You know how much money Jason Tatum lost last year because he wasn't all NBA?
Well,
like $5 million, like $10 million. So who's determining that Jason Tatum wasn't one of the best 15 players in the NBA last year? A lot of these writers, they don't realize, but they're screwing around with a lot of people's money. For example, Bryce Harper wins MVP tomorrow and he gets like a $5 million bonus. Since Juan Soto didn't win, he only gets like $1 million. But maybe Juan Soto was more of a candidate than Bryce Harper. It's a lot of money that these writers like are playing with, and a lot of these. But
again, it's to the opinion, like you said, like what's to make it that one person should be in over the other? Like there is really no right or wrong answer when it comes to
you don't. Yeah, but see, the problem is the problem is that there's also a sense of favoritism, right? We have it in the writer's hands. So, for example, if the writer is getting more interviews with a Bryce Harper than a Juan Soto, you think he's going to pick a Juan Soto over Bryce Harper?
That's another good example.
He's going to find that stat that's different between Bryce Harper and Juan Soto, and he's going to say, I made my decision off of this. He's going to create his own narrative. And that's why it's a flawed system. You can't say perfectly who's to win unless you said X, Y, and Z are the three stats you're looking at. You give me the top one from those three stats, and you then tell me who's going to do it. And I can guarantee out of those three, every single one is going to have a different stat that's higher than the other. That's the problem. There's no true definitive.
So
Jason
would you
Tatum,
change?
Listen, Carl, listen. So let's say tomorrow, right? The day of tomorrow, you have an interview with Jason Tatum, right? And Jason Tatum says, you suck. So now when you're voting for All-NBA, you're going to be like, hey, on October 5th, 2021, Jason Tatum told me I suck. I'm not going to write him in. I'm going to write this kid in. And that's how these players get screwed out of money.
So if he's still a Celtic, he's doing it.
So take the power out of the hands of the media. That's the way to go. How about we have the players and the GMs vote?
That's how it should
be. The owners. Have the owners vote.
Have the owners
Have
vote.
the owners
I don't.
vote.
Not
I
the
don't know.
players.
I don't know.
Not
I
the
don't know about
players.
the owners. I don't know about the owners. I would agree with the players, but sometimes the
players
players get it
vote.
wrong too.
So there's no, again, you can't have a right or wrong
That's what I'm
answer at the
saying.
end of the day.
Mike said it numerous times. You can't make everyone happy. You're not gonna
You can't.
please
You're
everyone.
not. You're not. You're not. It's
Flawed
a
system.
flawed system. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here. Any final comments as we wait for the NBA team to come in, Mike?
Oof.
I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna say that as we always look at these type of, award ceremonies, it's okay as a fan to be upset, but you want to hope that your player will be in there next year. So just keep rooting for your team. Every team will have that player that's going to win that award, except for the Celtics. But just keep pushing forward and just keep hoping, because as a Mets, Jets, Rangers, and Knicks fan, I am hoping that one day I can celebrate more than just individual awards, and I can celebrate championships, but we'll see what happens. But take it out of the writers' hands. Find a new system. You're still not going to make people happy, but at least it might be a little less flawed, and we might do it on the actual merits of the players.
Okay, Andre's final thoughts.
You know what, I'm gonna get bashed for this. I don't really care. The reason is because a lot of baseball heads are still stuck in 1954, and their voting system is still stuck in 1954. So my final thoughts is Barry Bonds should be a Hall of Famer, and Alex Cora should have won Manager of the Year.
All right, sir. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Mike, thank you so much, my brother. Ziggy Zig is in the house. How you doing, sir?
You can't kick me out when Ziggs is here, man. I want to stay with Ziggs.
Say what's up, because Mike Miller's coming in shortly. I don't know if Andres wants to stick around for the basketball.
I'll stick around. I'll stick around.
So Mike Phillips is getting kicked off, bro. You had your time yesterday. Oh, you're good, man. Thank you so much.
It's all good. Listen, it's all about the Knicks anyway. It's all good. Listen,
yeah, sure. Keep telling yourself
guys.
that. Big, how you doing, sir?
Huh?
How you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. I had a good day at work. I'm here. I'm at home. I'm a little hungry, but I'm here, man. I'm good.
Yeah, we're waiting on Mike.
We always hungry. Mike's going to be coming in shortly. I got a question for him dealing with Andres. Andres, you still believe James Harden is the best player on the Nets, right? I mean, as far as
what you said a few weeks ago.
We're letting, 13 games? We're letting 13 games swear our opinion?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying even before the 13 games, you said James Harden wasn't the best player on that team. So I'm just going by what you said. Just making sure we understand.
Coming into this year, he wasn't. I mean, it's obviously been Kevin Durant this year, but coming into the season, he wasn't.
Mike, how you doing, sir?
Yo, what's up, fellas? What's up?
You got the beard back already, bro? Look at you.
I told y'all. Come back quick.
He's cooking.
I was just addressing Andres because before the season started, Andres said that James Harden was the best player on the Nets, not Kevin Durant. Before the season started.
He was drinking. It's all right. We love Mr. Numbers, man.
Come on, man. I'm sober. I'm sober right now, bro.
That's what he said. But I think he's changing his tunes 13 games in.
I'm not. Listen, man. You're changing the tune. I'm
not changing the tune. You just said Kevin Durant. You just changed the tune, not me.
I mean, I'm not blind. I know what I'm watching. I'm not blind.
Oh, so now it's KD.
Oh, wait, but what happened last night though? Why couldn't KD score on Draymond?
That's one game.
Now it's one game.
One game. That man's been the most efficient player in the NBA, and he takes the least amount of shots to get it done.
I don't think Kevin Durant scored in the second half either, right? He didn't.
Yeah, he did.
Don't tell me that.
I don't think he did. I don't think he did, Mike.
I'll find out. I'll find out.
He was over 8 in the third quarter, so you probably.
Third quarter. Third quarter. He was over 8.
Let's stop the slander. Let's stop it right now. Come on.
What slander are we talking about? What slander are we talking?
You all know Kevin Durant is the best.
All right. So he had 3 points from the free throw line in the entire second half. He went 0 of 8 in the entire second half.
Yeah. Okay. Making a field goal.
Okay, so you didn't have any field goals. All right, so let's talk about the game from last night. This was the goodie that everybody wanted to see. Special shout out to Ray Jarvis and Manny. They were at the game. We had some live footage. But I said this to Greg that I think the Warriors are going to the finals. He called me crazy. He said,
"You said what?
The Warriors are going to the finals."
The who?
The Warriors are going to the finals.
I thought I had static in my headphone. My bad.
I'm standing by what I said. They're going to the finals.
I said that last week. So
Mike said it. Mike co-signed it last week. So and Ziggy wants to co-sign it too. That's why he's laughing. You know the eye test will tell you. I'm not crazy to say it. Klay
ahead,
hasn't
man.
played a game.
Klay
Wiseman
hasn't
hasn't played a
played a
game.
game.
Wardell is playing at the highest level of his career. He's an MVP candidate.
Whoa,
aside
not
from
of
Kevin
his
Durant.
career. Not of his career.
Playing
Let's
at one of the
relax.
highest levels of his career. One of the highest levels of his career.
You said the highest.
Okay, I corrected myself. One of the highest levels of his career. That's fair, right? So why wouldn't they go to the final? Who else in the Western Conference is going to come out right now who's playing at that level? And they're already 11-2.
Right now, everybody in the West is shaky, right? You got the Lakers dealing with injuries. I mean, the Clippers are staying afloat, but not to the point where we're talking about them as contenders. I don't know. Denver is really shaky this year without Jamal Murray. We're seeing it. And who else? You got Phoenix Suns. I think Phoenix and Utah.
9-game winning streak.
Who's that? Phoenix?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's cute. We'll see how that is when we get
exactly. Yeah, I feel the same way.
You know why you say it's cute? Because Ziggs, what did they tell us last year when Phoenix made it to the finals? What did they tell us?
I don't
What
remember.
did the Hill Street say? They said, well, they didn't deserve to be there because they got through injuries. That's exactly what they said, right? So now all of a sudden, everyone wants to try to hop on when I say that the Warriors are going to the finals. I see how it changes quickly. It
Bro,
changes.
what? There's zero correlation, bro. Stop it.
Why
There's
not?
zero
Because they told me, because they said that Phoenix wasn't going to get back to the finals when everyone's healthy. That's what they said.
This year.
This year,
So,
yes.
So right now, you could put your hand on the Bible and say that the Suns are coming out of the West right now.
That's not what I said. I
answer my question.
I said the Warriors. I didn't say the Suns. I said the Warriors.
But this year, everyone's healthy though, so
I still got the
For now.
Warriors. Why not? Why? What's wrong with what I said?
my God.
Tell me.
No, Carl, it's so crazy because I knew we was coming on today. I'm like, yo, we're literally gonna have the exact same conversation we had last week because it's the same conversation. We said it was clear last week, and then Carl, you asked everyone, what do we still have to wait for? And here we are again. They just blew out the Nets, and Andre still don't want to explain it. So I'm interested too.
The only thing in your favor, as I've said, is because their schedule is going to get harder in the second half of the season. Which I've said. But then they're also going to get Klay Thompson back too. Why not?
Oh my goodness.
Why not? Tell me.
Okay.
I want to know.
Okay.
I'm interested.
If you double team Steph Curry in the playoffs, who's the next bucket getter?
By the playoffs, it'll be Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson, yeah.
So it'll be Klay Thompson, fresh off an ACL injury, fresh off a torn Achilles, is going to be their second best player. That's what you're telling me?
Does
And
he
he's
have
only
to
played.
average 15?
You don't have to
Did I
average.
say that?
man.
Did I say that?
What?
If I
No,
need,
but see-
listen,
see,
Mike,
Andre,
Mike,
you know basketball, so you can't say this. Their offense is not based on one person or two. It's a full offense. You know this.
Not to mention that their role players have
What?
improved. Jordan Poole did improve.
It's not one guy.
Jordan Poole
Andrew
is either
Wiggins
going to
didn't
give you.
improve.
No, he's had his lowest number since 2015. What are you talking about?
He's playing.
Crickets.
He's averaging
Crickets.
18 right
Look at
now.
you, bro. Jordan
averaging
Poole is
18.
either. That's supposed to be good on terrible efficiency
They're 12-2. Am I confused?
because of one player, maybe two
So
players.
Steph is averaging 50? What? I'm
He's
confused.
Let me
averaging-
ask you this.
He's averaging 30.
Let me give him a stat. He like numbers. Let me give him a stat. You know that.
So Steph was always double
they
teamed
have
in the
five
past.
wins.
In the
They have
past when they
five
won their
wins.
championships.
They have 4 wins.
They had Kevin
This year-
Durant, bro, and
Wait,
Klay
wait,
Before that,
Thompson.
they won one without
Wait.
Kevin Durant.
Wait,
Oh,
Carl.
let
he
Mike
likes
get in
numbers.
there.
Hold on, let Mike cook. Let Mike cook. We let
He
him.
likes
Let Mike
numbers.
cook.
They have 4 wins this year where he has scored less than 20.
Who?
Steph. They have 4 wins.
I'm gonna look up the opponents. Let's look up the
The point
opponents.
is
Hold
that
on.
they have an all-around team. They don't depend on just Steph. They don't depend on just Steph. If
Because you
watch
got
the game,
you
would
got
know
Jordan Poole, you got
They
Andrew
time
Wiggins,
out. Time
you got
out.
Draymond,
Time out.
you
You're
got Damian Lee.
Mike. You're fake news because they won 2 games with Steph scoring less than 20. They beat the Pelicans, who are 2-13, and they beat the
Okay.
Hornets. Then they beat the Hornets. So what are you talking about?
Okay, no, they had 4 games. I just saw it the other day. They have 4 games that they won where he had less than 20. But even if you give 2 games,
Okay, so
I'll
time
give you
out.
an example.
Okay.
even
So
if
let's
you
get
give 2 games. I'll give you an example with the Lakers when they play with LeBron. Look at how the Lakers play when they don't play with LeBron. You go to this
Who
Cleveland
cares
game.
about the Lakers, bro? Nobody cares about the
The
Lakers.
point that I'm making to you is that the Warriors are a complete team. They're not just solely reliant on Steph. And
So
if
you're
you
gonna
watch
tell
the
me?
games-
So you're
Okay.
gonna tell me when Steph is on the bench in the playoffs, if I'm gonna tell Jordan Poole, go get me a bucket, he's gonna get you a bucket. If I tell Andrew Wiggins, go get me a bucket,
Klay
he's gonna get you a
Thompson's
bucket.
gonna be there.
If I tell who do y'all think Klay Thompson is, man? He
Oh,
has a torn.
so let's have the conversation. So let me
Oh
ask
my
you this. Here's my
God.
follow-up. Who is Klay Thompson?
Yeah, tell us.
You tell me, bro, because you guys are acting like
that's what
no,
you just
you tell
said.
us.
No. You tell us
tell
who
us.
is Klay Thompson.
Tell
You
us.
just
he's
said
fresh.
that.
He's fresh off a torn Achilles and a torn ACL, and he's what 30 years old, 31 years old. He's about to be 32 in February. He has to play competitive basketball in June. That's what you're telling me, bro?
So we're still doing this thing where we're obsessed with the history of the league and not recent history. This is exactly what we said about Kevin Durant. He's probably better now than he's ever been.
Nope.
No, it
Nope.
is.
Not true. Not true. Not. I did not. Not me.
I'm not talking.
me.
No, I'm saying you're still falling victim to this idea that we could just say, well, in the past, ACLs did X, so that applies to every player in the current and future. That doesn't mean that. We tried it with Kevin Durant.
ACL and Achilles, bro. ACL and Achilles.
Yes.
Kevin Durant, listen to me. Kevin Durant tore his right Achilles, not his left one. He shoots off his left foot, not off his right foot. That's why he's been better.
So you're predicting
Crickets.
that Clay's not going to be the same. It's not cricket.
No, he's a scrub. He's a scrub.
No, it's not
He's
cricket.
gonna do anything.
Okay, so
That's
but
where we're going. That's where we're going at.
again, so let me ask this though.
That's
So are you saying, so basically you're saying it's twofold, right? You're saying he's a scrub and he's not going to come back the same from his injury. So which one is it? It's both.
Is it both?
It's both. Yes.
Gotta be both.
Why
He
is
was
he
a scrub. He was a
What-
scrub
what is he
before
a
the
scrub about?
injury, and he's a scrub after the injury.
How is Klay Thompson a scrub though?
Why is he a scrub?
Andres just revealed he doesn't like basketball. That's what he's telling us.
So
He
why
doesn't
is he a scrub?
basketball. He doesn't know basketball.
No, but
If you
I'm
think
asking
Klay
you a
Thompson's
question.
a scrub,
I'm
you
really
don't know
asking him a fair question.
Period.
Why is he a scrub? Crickets.
Don't look for no numbers. You should know it.
No,
Oh, I'm not looking. Oh, I'm not looking for numbers.
I
You're gonna
asked
give
you
me.
a question.
Don't
You
look,
didn't
don't look
answer
for no
it.
numbers.
But I
Don't
just
look
He's
for
asked
not
you
that
a
guy.
direct question. But answer
No,
the
he's not.
question. I
He's
hate when
never
people don't
been.
answer my question. Answer the question. Why is he a
Why is he
scrub?
a scrub?
Like,
He's never been the second best player on a championship team. Like, what do you want me to tell
That
you?
makes him a scrub? What do you mean?
Yes,
How did they win a
Yes.
championship in 2015?
What?
Who was the second best
Because
player
of-
on the team?
because of Draymond Green.
so third best
Yeah.
players are scrubs on the teams now?
Yeah, what is
I mean,
he
he's
talking
not-
about?
No.
He's over.
So you're saying
So
if
wait.
you're the third best option, you're a scrub on the team. Is that what you just
He's a
said?
scrub. No, I'm saying
No,
he's a
but
scrub.
that's what you
I'm saying,
just said.
I'm saying he's
Mike,
a scrub.
What?
You said he's a scrub because he's not as good
What?
as Stephen Curry. Like, what? I don't understand.
Because he
your
wasn't
Because
the
he's
second
overrated,
best. Because he's the
bro.
third best player on
He
the
was-
team. He's a scrub.
He's
So
a-
third
He's
best option's a
overrated,
scrub.
He's the
bro.
second
No, wait.
best player on a championship team, and that makes him a scrub. I don't get that.
He was
I
the
don't know.
fourth. He was the fourth best player in 2018 and 2017. In 2016, he
fourth best
folded,
player?
and then in 2015, it was Draymond Green.
Have
He
you ever
was
heard
the
of Game
third.
6 Clay? Have you ever heard of Game 6
What?
Clay? It's a real thing.
How many
Scrubs
game
do
sixes
that?
does he have that are good? How many
But
game
do
sixes
scrubs
does he
do
have that are
that?
good?
I'm asking you, do scrubs do that?
Oh, bro.
Name some
So
other
wait,
scrubs
so-
that have done that. He did it twice.
Reggie Miller.
You said Reggie Miller's a scrub? Turn your we should kick you out of
He's
here.
not. It's
We
not
should
what he's
kick you out of
saying. No,
We should
I
kick you
don't
out of here.
understand. I don't get it, bro. I don't
Listen,
understand. You sitting
Andres,
here-
I have to tell you like I tell everybody else. It never was cool to be a troll. That's not a cool thing. No one likes
Bro,
that.
I'm
Don't
being
be a troll.
so dead ass. I'm
No,
being
you
so dead
can't
ass.
be. I respect
telling
you
me,
enough for you to
Carl.
not lie like this. There's no way.
Carl.
You're looking for numbers, and it's hard for you. I see that. It's
Carl.
being difficult for you.
Carl,
No way.
you're
Klay
telling
Thompson's
me-
a scrub.
you're
No
telling
way.
me after 1,000, he's overrated. You're telling me after 1,038 days of not playing competitive basketball, 1,038 days, Klay Thompson, if you need a bucket, you're gonna go to him. That's what you're telling me, Carl. Look at me dead in the eye. Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
Gonna play
After
gonna
one-
play.
After 1,038 days,
He's gonna play. Yes.
Yo,
He'll play.
but
bro,
listen,
bro.
yo, Carl, you could answer that if you didn't understand basketball. But since you understand basketball, that's a
Right.
stupid question. You have to. It's a whole game. Like it's not
He
just
had-
one play. It's a whole
Bro,
game that they have
he
to
had-
play. They're not. It doesn't
had-
resort to just one play. Oh, who's the second? When have we ever asked that question? Yo, in a game, is it a sec? Oh, is
We
this a Chris
always
Middleton
do.
type of argument. Like, oh, if Giannis is
whoa,
stopped, then
let's
Chris Middleton score?
let's be
If this type of-
respectful. Let's be respectful. Chris Middleton is better than Klay Thompson. Let's be respectful. Come on.
I'm out.
He gets so mad.
Mike, come back. Mike, I need you back to finish the
Yo, my
segment,
son-
man.
Yo. All right. So this is what happens. Some of y'all just don't like certain players, and y'all pretend like you don't
No,
like them.
listen. Oh my
Andre,
God.
I just want you to be fair. Just say you don't prefer his game.
That doesn't
like you don't
that
like
doesn't
him.
mean, bro. That doesn't mean any. That doesn't mean
He's not a
anything
scorer.
because I don't like Kevin
He's not a
Durant, but I can acknowledge when he's great.
But
And I
I'm
don't like
still,
Anthony.
I'm still, not to cut you, Andres. I'm still waiting for like the specifics as to what makes Klay Thompson
Thank you.
overrated.
He's overrated. Fans perceive him. So wait, so before his injuries, Mike, since you rep Klay Thompson, you have it tattooed on your fucking shoulder. Before the injuries, what was Klay Thompson's rate?
You getting emotional.
Before, I'm not getting. I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, bro.
I told you.
I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling, bro.
Stop getting
Before-
emotional. Go ahead.
Mike, I ain't hear that in a long time.
Emotional, man.
Before
Now
Klay
stop.
Thompson's injuries, where would you rank him in the NBA?
Top 20. Top 20. You laughing? He's a consecutive All-Star. He's a
Oh my
20 point per
God.
game scorer. Like what? Give me what Ziggy's basically asking is give me some numbers, Mr. Numbers. That's what you are, right? So give
Yeah,
us some
talk
numbers
to us numbers.
to
Tell us
justify
the
your
numbers.
argument
Bro,
that he's a scrub.
just-
Give us some
just-
numbers.
Just look at the 2017 playoffs, bro. Look at the
So that's
the
one
following year.
season.
That's
one-
how long
that's
Klay
one
Thompson
year.
in the league?
Wait,
Carl?
wait,
You
wait,
telling us
wait,
about
wait,
one
wait.
season.
You
just
just
said one,
you just said Kevin Durant's the best player on the Nets because of 13 games. So who's
No,
the
he was
hypocrite
the
now?
best player before the
He was
13
the best
games.
player on
He
the team
wasn't.
last
He
year.
wasn't.
You
Yes, he
the
was.
one that
He
He was
argued
the
wasn't.
that.
best
he
player
was not.
before the 13
You argued
games.
that.
You just didn't agree with it. I never
You
said
didn't
that.
agree with
So
it.
how
You're
come-
assessing the
You said that.
13 games.
So-
You're saying he is
so-
now. He was the better player before the 13 games.
So how come?
Yes.
So
He
why
was
did
the
the
best
Nets
player on
ask?
the Nets
So
last
why
year.
why did the Nets ask him to come back while he was being injured last year?
Who?
The Nets asked James Harden to play in the against the Bucks. Why did they ask him to come back?
Pick me, Carl. Pick me,
Go
Carl. I
ahead.
know the
Go
answer.
ahead. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
Because
sir.
it's basketball. He can't play by himself. He needs
Oh,
other
now he
players.
can-
What are you talking about? Bro,
This is
Ziggy
amazing,
asked you
Mike.
a specific question. Can we get
This
some
is
numbers,
amazing.
Mr. Numbers? Or we got to change that name. You ain't Mr. Numbers. Ziggy asked me
Again, we still asked you
don't
the
like
numbers
him.
about Klay Thompson. And you didn't answer the question. What is his
I-
shooting
What is
percentage?
it?
His
What
field
is
goal
it?
percentage? What
He
is it?
was
You still
he
didn't-
folded in the
That's not
2016
answering.
finals.
That's not
He
answering the question.
I don't
Tell me
bro.
his
I don't have his numbers tattooed on me, bro. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? Go to your phone and look him up like you were looking everything else up. So
Yeah,
tell us
I
the
know.
numbers. Like
Yeah,
I
we
don't
saw what you
understand.
were doing.
Ziggy's
I
looking
literally
up
just
for you.
told you.
Ziggy's just
I
looking up for you.
literally,
Tell us the numbers.
I literally just told you. Look up at the 2016 finals. Look up his statistics. Look up
That's-
the 2017 playoffs. Look at the
Oh my
2018
God.
playoffs.
So he's a
Look at the
12 to
2019
1.
playoffs.
And we can look at the
He's not that guy.
2018 playoffs. We can look at the 2019 ones. We can look at the Western Conference Finals. Can we look at those? Can we look at those numbers?
But I'm saying this.
Yes,
right?
you could. Yes, you could. You could. Actually, you could.
Ziggs, go ahead, man. Cook, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is this, right? Because I'm as y'all are sitting here arguing, I'm looking at some numbers, right? And if we're looking at the championship years, his worst year really and truly was 2015. You understand what I'm saying? He was in here, he was averaging 15 points on 40% shooting, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Now, stats don't just tell the entire thing, right? Because when you watch basketball, you understand that Klay Thompson, like some people said in the comments, plays on both sides of the basketball.
That
So-
is the biggest
you.
lie told in basketball. Klay Thompson is not good defensively, bro. Oh my God.
I know
man.
you don't watch basketball. I'm convinced now. I am
Wow.
convinced.
Can
I'm
I,
convinced.
defense?
I know you don't watch
can
basketball.
I
They don't
switch
play
topics
defense?
now?
Oh
He
my
doesn't.
God,
He
bro.
doesn't play on ball defense.
And let me finish.
He's
this
not
part.
a good defender. Let him
All
cook,
right,
Mike.
Ziggs,
Let him cook,
All right,
bro.
and
Ziggs, go ahead, finish.
This is the last point I want to talk about. I didn't expect to argue Klay Thompson. This is fun. But
He's a bomb.
what I'm saying, you got to stop saying that. What I'm saying is this, right? At
Mike,
the
put
same
your hand
time,
on your face again.
the 2 championships that he won after 2015, obviously Kevin Durant is now on the squad, right? So Klay Thompson is no longer that second option. He's a third option. So
Or
the
he
numbers that-
was not a third option either. Continue. Sorry.
he was not a third option. He's not a third offensive option during those
No.
championships.
No.
So who was third
Draymond,
offensive
right?
guy?
Draymond,
not a
bro.
Third option. Draymond is. See, this is why. I
When you
gotta
guys
teach.
when you
I
guys
have to
learned
teach-
basketball, when you guys learned
No, you
basketball,
don't.
you
No,
guys
you
will
said Klay Thompson
understand.
doesn't play
You
defense.
guys
You're
were.
barred from talking basketball. You don't
Yeah,
get to talk basketball no more. You don't.
You probably
This
think
is what we gotta
Steph Curry's a bad defender, right?
We got to teach. No, we have to teach.
Good
First
Lord.
of all, the Warriors had a very.
Wait, hold on, Mike. I'm sorry to interrupt. So Draymond was the third best offensive option.
still stuck on
Draymond was the reason the Warriors were successful
That's
year
not
in
the
and
question
year
I
out.
asked you. Though. That's not what I asked you. That's not the question I asked. Offensively, who was the third best player on the Warriors offensively during those championships?
Draymond. Look at the numbers, bro. The numbers don't lie to you. Oh my goodness. Look at the film. We can go back. Carl, you're gonna look at me with a straight face. How many games did you watch of the Warriors when they went 73-9? Look at me.
I watched the games that they had on.
The games that were on
But
ESPN,
you're
right?
talking
That's all you
specifically
watch.
about the playoffs. Okay, so you watched all 82 games.
I watched the majority of
You
them.
watched all 82 games.
Yes, bro.
So you watched all 82 games of the Warriors.
I've watched them on YouTube.
So you watched them on YouTube. You watched the highlights on YouTube, or you watched the
not the highlights. I watched complete games.
So you watch every single game of every single player to know who plays better and when they don't play better.
Because I don't watch only the games on ESPN like you do, bro.
That's fine. It's okay. I have a full-time job and a wife. I can't watch every single game.
I have a full-time job.
Listen, I do.
You got responsibilities.
No, but I can't watch every single game.
Now you're backtracking.
I'm not backtracking because according to you, and then when we get to the playoffs, which I did watch, by the way, you're saying that Draymond is the fourth best offensive option. It's not.
It's not.
Third.
It's not Klay.
You don't even see.
Klay is Teflon, bro. Look at
this. Their offense. First of all, they would run very simple plays, especially when KD got there. They would run simple. Go ahead, Carl.
Let me ask another question. So then why did Mark Jackson say that they're the best backcourt ever?
Because so you're gonna listen to Mark Jackson for basketball opinions now?
I'm gonna listen to somebody who coached these two players.
So
who's a professional, who's a coach, and I'm not a coach. No, Mark Jackson coached them for 4 years.
So we got to take Jackson over Mark Jackson.
Wait. I know you guys are smart. Ready? No, Ziggy's been quiet. Ziggy, can you answer a question for me, please? The first year after Mark Jackson left, what did the Warriors do?
That's a long fucking time ago. I don't remember.
No, bro. Help me out here, bro.
I know where he's going with this.
After he left, they won a championship.
Oh, wait. So what was the adjustment that Steve Kerr made?
He put Draymond in the starting lineup.
Wait. Time out.
But that doesn't make him the second.
That doesn't make him the second option.
It makes him an integral part of the offense.
Time out. So you mean because you enjoy the pain? So you mean to tell me that Draymond Green was changed from a small forward to a power forward by someone that knows basketball, apparently in Mark Jackson, and they won the championship? That's crazy.
So let's talk basketball. Okay. So why did Steve Kerr do that? Because he saw Draymond has a unique skill set. What is that skill set? He has a great ability to pass. So what did they try to do? So how did they run their offense? Steph got off of the ball because Mark Jackson ran a similar system to what he ran in Davidson with a lot of pick and rolls. They got him off the ball, put Draymond on the ball. What they would do is they would give the ball to Klay, and especially when KD came, they would give the ball to Klay on the left block, and then they would give it to KD on the right block, and they would shoot mid-range jump shots. That's why Klay Thompson has religiously led the league. Was top 10 in mid-range shooting. Not to mention, Klay Thompson scored 37 in a court. Leave me alone.
You're naming games. You're naming games.
That's what you did, though. You just did the same thing.
I named series. I named series. I named the entire playoff run, bro.
That 3-1 comeback in 2016, that wasn't Klay. Klay didn't help out in that game 6.
Game 6, Klay.
That was one game. What happened? Okay. What did Klay do in game 7?
So once again, we're saying best offensive option. Klay Thompson is a 20-point per game scorer for his career.
What's his field goal percentage? What are you
talking about, sir?
What's his field goals percentage?
I'm confused.
You guys are funny, man.
No, but answer the question. No, I'm trying to help you.
Wait, Mike. Let me see something, Mike. Who's better? Ray Allen or Klay Thompson?
Ray Allen or Klay Thompson?
Why are you thinking about it?
Ray Allen. Because Ray Allen led a team by himself. What does that have to do with Draymond?
Whoa!
But that's not. But to be fair, that's not Klay's fault. Klay's never had that opportunity. That's not his fault.
So you're telling me the Warriors go 73-9 without Stephen Curry?
Huh?
What does any of this have to do with Klay Thompson? Are you confused?
So the question though, do they go 73-9 without Klay Thompson?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Can you prove that? How can you prove it?
No, I can't prove it.
They can't prove it.
Exactly. So you just said stuff just for the sake of saying it. No, you're just talking because you want to talk right now. That's what's up. You just talking because you want to talk right now.
You can't prove it, bro.
I love seeing you guys get rattled because I'm always right. It's beautiful.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yes,
you
I am.
Crazy, bro.
I am.
You sound crazy, bro.
Hold on. It's not
like Klay Thompson.
It's not just us that disagree with you. The whole people in the comments, Nobody.
So
agrees with
nobody
you.
None of
is
bro.
telling you, bro.
If
No
listen,
one.
if
Nobody
any of
agrees
them,
with you.
if any of the people in the comments can put their hand on the Bible and tell me they watched more than 100 Warrior games in the last 2 years, I'll give them $100. None of them can.
Bro, I've been,
Hold on, wait.
None of them
bro,
can.
you ain't
None of
gotta
them
worry about
can.
them. You can talk to me about that. You can talk to me about that. You
Mike
told
just
me
answered your
Draymond
question.
is the second best offensive option on the Warriors.
He's the
That's
second best
ridiculous.
player on the
really
Warriors,
bad.
bro.
No, we're talking
It's
offensive
bad.
option, bro.
You
That's
said
what we said.
offensive
Offensive
option.
option.
He's
That's
not
what we're
the
So why
saying.
did they let
He's not the
Draymond run the
second best
show
player on
because
the
he can
Warriors.
be a point guard like Steph. You guys,
Bro.
time out. So
Bro,
wait.
he's
You guys
been
want to bring up?
playing with
You
Steph
guys
and
want to
Klay.
bring up? No. Time out. No. You guys want to bring up specific games, right? Specific games because
Yeah,
Mike
I
said 37-point game. Then he said
Yeah.
Game 6 versus the. You said Game
Yeah,
6
Game
versus the
6.
Thunder, right? Let's bring up a specific
get
game.
Toronto.
What did Klay Thompson do in Game 7 of the NBA Finals?
He
Humor me.
played bad. In 2016.
In 2016, what did he do?
Yeah, no, he
Yeah,
wasn't
Steph
good.
played bad
He
too.
wasn't good. But we said that. We said that was a
We
shaky.
said that. Yeah,
run.
because guess what,
He
Andres?
folded.
NBA players are not perfect. They play bad in games sometimes. That happens.
Klay
So how does
Thompson is
Klay
Teflon,
average?
bro.
Okay, so then
He's
so then,
Teflon. He's Teflon.
So then how
He's
does
a
he average
20
20
game
points a
scorer
game?
for his career. I just want to know. Give us some numbers. Name some other 20
I literally said
some
4
other-
different years. I said 4 different years, and you're not paying attention.
So do me a favor, since you like comparisons. Name another 20-point per game scorer on a champ that was vital to a championship team that plays both sides of the ball. Name that scrub. Name another one. Or is it just Klay? Name another one.
It's just Klay.
Exactly. That's my point. Everybody else gets their credit. You just don't like Klay.
Because
Thank you.
because
You
Klay
just
is
don't like
overrated,
Klay.
bro.
Thank
How are you
you.
gonna tell me
Thank you. You just don't like Klay.
Tag me.
you put?
Go ahead,
Ziggy,
Zig. You
I
tag.
tagged
So hold on,
Tag, you
wait.
good.
If I
You sound
remember
crazy.
correctly, because you mentioned the player, right? And I don't want this to be like a whole gang up on Andre's thing. This thing went.
No, it
totally
should be. He
No, this
disrespected
shit is
Klay. It
fire.
should
This
be.
shit is
It
fire,
should
bro.
be.
Yo, this is totally off my script, by the way.
Well,
I
hold
totally
on.
did not anticipate
You know
this
how
at
we do.
all.
My
What
question
Pippens,
is this:
baby.
Yeah.
did you
Go
not
ahead.
say last year and a couple seasons prior? Didn't you
Well,
not
the
say that
receipts,
Chris
big.
Middleton was trash?
Get them receipts.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So
What about him?
you
What's
said
the
he
difference?
was
But now you
trash.
think he's better than Klay?
How is he better than Klay?
No, I just said it to get you rattled, and you got rattled.
See,
I
you're a
accomplished
chatty
my.
patty. I knew it.
No, I'm moving on.
he's
man,
a
bro.
chatty
I'm
patty. I
moving
knew
on,
it.
man.
I
I'm
knew
moving
it.
on,
I
bro.
knew
Klay-
it. I
Klay
knew
Thompson-
it. He
Klay
is a
Thompson-
chatty
Klay
patty.
Thompson.
I knew it.
So wait, so now the standard. Wait,
Yo,
what?
Swollen is not
Ziggy,
cute, man. Y'all
time
gotta
out. Let me
stop
cook.
this.
Ziggy, where do you have Chris Middleton in the NBA ranked
Right now,
right now?
Chris Middleton got to be.
His stock went up.
Yeah, probably top 30, top 25. I would
Yeah,
put
his
him
stock
there.
went up. His stock went up.
Okay,
We
so
never
that means
took
Klay.
from
So
you.
that means Klay is a top 30 player. Okay, cool.
I
Fine.
have,
Bro,
I have
Injury-
Klay in the top.
Injury comes-
Before
bro,
the
you
injury,
Talk about right now.
definitely
He's
had Klay
injured.
top 30.
Before the injury, Klay was top 30. Now he's like top 500, maybe top 600.
We don't
You
know
don't like
that. We
Bro,
didn't
you just
see
don't like
stuff on
him.
the
You just
court
don't
yet.
like him, bro. I understand. It was
Did he-
players in the league I didn't like either. I get it, bro. I get
No.
it.
You didn't like.
I
You don't
get
like
it.
LeBron James.
get
That's a
it.
whole different story.
Yeah,
We're not
I
gonna
don't
compare
like
LeBron
him.
James to Klay
Yeah.
Thompson.
No,
But
that's
that's not basket.
But I would never say LeBron was a bum and mean it seriously.
Because
I
there's
know he's
no
a great player.
because
I know
because
he's a
there's no
great player.
there's no
I know this.
statistics. There's no statistics to prove he's a bum. So what are you talking about?
And there's no
Neither
statistics
is
to
it
prove
for
that
Klay.
Klay.
Klay Thompson's a bum.
Oh my
He's
What
a
god,
statistics
bro.
prove that he's a
20-point
bum?
scorer for
Oh
his
my
career.
god, bro.
What statistics
You
prove
are
that he's a
silly.
bum?
You guys are funny, man. You
You're
guys
No,
are
but you
funny.
still, but you're not answering the question. I'm answering.
We're gonna
the
go
question.
a year from now. You guys are gonna bring up how I said Klay was a scrub a year ago. Just how
No,
just how
but you're
Eddie
still
brings
not
up-
answering my question, though. Like,
I
I'm asking
answered
you
the question, bro.
No, you didn't.
I
What
said,
statistics?
I said the
No, you did not.
2016
Statistics.
finals, the 2015 finals, the
So
2017
it's only the
playoff
playoffs.
run,
So it's
the
only the playoffs.
2018 playoff run, the
So it's only the
2019
playoffs.
playoff run.
So it's only the playoffs that you're counting then.
Yes, that's when it matters the most. That's when the lights get bright. Who cares about the fucking regular season?
Oh my goodness. Who
Look at
cares?
you, silent again.
He took
Okay.
it. He took it to the final level. I said that we give more credit to the playoffs. He said no one cares. We don't listen to Andres about nothing. This is the same person that was elevating.
He said
Hakeem
Kareem was
Olajuwon
overrated
over
too.
people. I'm not listening to you about nothing no more.
What?
I used to respect your basketball acumen. I don't anymore. It is out the window. You sound
I'm
crazy.
gonna sleep,
You sound
Mike, and guess
crazy.
what? I'm gonna
You
sleep
sound
like a
crazy.
baby tonight.
And
Um,
hold on. The
nah.
last thing I just want to say this, Carl, and if you want,
You
because I know
sound
you got like
crazy.
7 minutes or so.
Yeah.
You said that 2018 it was a shaky season for him in the finals. One, they swept the Cavaliers, if I'm not mistaken, right? KD and Steph was playing out of their mind. So he didn't really have to put in that kind of work if KD was not on the team. Hold on. On top of that, 16 points. Yeah, that's not as big as we would like it to be. But again, he plays on both sides of the ball. You got
It
KD.
was terrible efficiency too.
No, he was not.
Yeah,
He actually shot 48% from the field and 42%
That's
from
50%.
three.
Give him the
That's
numbers,
not 50.
Vic. Give him
Wait,
the
say that
numbers.
again one more time, Zix. Say
Now,
it again for the
again,
people in the
In the
back.
finals
my
run
God.
against Cleveland, he shot 48% from the field and he shot
That's 50.
42% from the 3-point line.
So
He
you're
shot-
telling me.
So don't talk
So
to me
you're
no
telling
more.
me.
he was quite
Wait,
efficient.
time out. Why?
That's
What,
quite
Mike?
efficient.
Mike. There's no reason to say victory laps.
I'm sorry.
So you're telling
I'm
me.
sorry. Answer them numbers. Answer them numbers. As a third
So-
option.
So being a third option.
right?
He's a third option.
So being wide open from KD and Steph, getting all the attention, making open shots. That's what we're crediting him for, right?
Whose fault is that?
Now
Whose
we're making
fault is that?
excuses.
That's
Oh,
the aim of
snap.
the game is to get the best players on the team. That's not his fault. What you want him
Yo,
to do?
when do we do
don't bring
that?
KD. Let me stay on the team.
When do we do
So that's
that?
what we doing
That
now.
doesn't work like
Go,
that.
bro.
When
That's
do
what
we
we
do
doing
that
now.
now?
Can
So
you
if
pass
being
me
wide
the
open
ball?
is a bad
Please,
thing.
can I have
So
some?
now that's what we do now.
No, when we
Oh.
Carl, that's what we do when we wrong. We make up new stuff. He said he wasn't efficient. Zig told him the man shot 50%.
He
from
wasn't
field,
efficient the year prior,
42%
Mike.
from three.
He
That's
wasn't
not what you
efficient the
said
year
before,
prior, Mike.
though. That's not what you said before. You keep
That's
tripping
what
up
you-
over yourself. That's
Can
not
I
what
ask
you
you
said.
why are we
before?
still-
You
so-
said he's bad
so
in the
wait.
playoffs. What's his
Oh my God.
career point per game average in the playoffs? Since you said he's bad in the
You
playoffs.
look at you only looking at points per game, Mike. You exposed yourself.
If
Good
he's
job.
bad in the
But
playoffs,
Ziggy just
tell
gave
me
you the
numbers.
percentages, though. He just gave you the percentages.
What's his career numbers in the playoffs? Since you said he's so bad in the
He
playoffs,
just
give us
gave you the
numbers.
percentages. He
Mr.
just
Like,
gave them to you.
If he
Where
was
they
the
at?
second best option, putting up those kind of numbers, then maybe I could be like, all right, I understand. He's still efficient, but he's the third option. and they fucked him.
Look at the final. Look at the finals in 2016. What was it?
No,
What were
but
the
we
numbers?
gave you that. We said in 2016, even Mike said it already.
We
He
gave you
was
that.
garbage. I could
He
give
was
you those
trash.
numbers.
In 2017, he was abysmal too.
Not as bad as 2016 and 2015.
You want to? So let's look at 2017.
Okay, let's look.
Get it? Let's go.
But can you
I
answer
got
my
five.
question though? Can you
Which
answer my
question, Mike? You've had like
Carl gotta
50 of
go.
them.
I said give me his playoff numbers. Since you said he's so bad in the numbers and so inefficient, give me his numbers.
Yo,
Give me his
This
playoff
is
numbers.
crazy, man. This is crazy.
yo, that's how
I
I'm feeling.
can't. Bro, I cannot wait for Clay's demise. It's gonna be the greatest day of my
Wow,
life.
you
Yeah.
left it for his
That's how you know
Wow.
it's
demise?
personal.
See, that's
how you know it's
disrespectful.
personal.
Yeah,
That's how
it
you know
really
it's
is.
personal.
What did Klay do
That's
to you?
it's personal.
Let's
Yeah,
look at his
he
career
had, bro.
numbers.
Bro,
19
I ain't
points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. That's moving the
Let's
needle
round
for
it.
you.
It's 19.5. We rounded to 20. Cool. That's a 20 point per game.
19.3, Mike. That's
Okay.
not rounded.
In the
That's not
playoffs, right?
rounded,
In the
Mike.
playoff-
You
in
round
the
after
playoffs,
5.
right? I'm
Is
talking
that
about
the
his regular. Oh, in the playoffs.
That's the playoffs. Yes, that's the
career
playoffs.
average is
That's the-
19 points a game. You said he's a bum.
Yes.
19 points a game is a bum.
Yes.
I don't know. So what's good? So what's good?
Anything over 24, 25 is good.
Hold up. So wait,
But anybody else
Mike,
who averages 20 is a bum.
I'm back in. Hold on, wait.
It depends.
20
No, I did not say that. I did not say that, Carl, because it depends on what option you are.
We're talking about Klay Thompson, Peter. That's what we're talking about right now.
But in
That's the second
2019, he averaged 26 points. So what are we talking
What?
about here?
What?
In 2019, for the finals run, when when KD was hurt with the strain and it turned into the Achilles, whatever, he was averaging 26 points.
He
in
was
that
solid.
finals run.
He was solid in the
got
finals.
hurt.
Some might say he was better than Steph.
Some.
But why
Okay,
didn't you
I can.
mention that?
Why
We
you
were
guys
talking
think?
about
Why are you guys
Klay
looking at me like I can't be? Why are you guys looking at me like I can't be unbiased, bro? Stop that.
Because
Look
you
at you
can't
guys.
be. You ain't mentioned
Look
that
at
in
you
30
guys.
minutes. We ain't hear that. You said, look at 2016. Look at 2016. Ziggy mentioned the finals from 2 years ago, and you ain't mentioned that. You reached back
He
to
was-
2016.
he was-
in the
he was
finals
good
2
in that
years ago.
finals.
Why you ain't tell us those numbers? Y'all acting like I can't be unbiased because you are biased. That's why.
Yo, I gotta go, guys.
Thank
I'm-
God.
ridiculous.
Klay Thompson's
This
a
is
bomb.
ridiculous.
Let's go. I
Yo,
win. I
listen.
win.
Yo, how did we
Before
just
get
talk
off,
about
Carl,
Klay
three
Thompson
things-
this whole
three
segment?
Three people
Because
by
he's
the
a
end of this
bomb,
year,
bro.
3 people by the end of this year, everybody's gonna have to put respect on their name. Steph Curry,
Mike.
Steve Kerr, Andrew Wiggins.
Mm.
By the end of this year,
Okay,
Why?
y'all have to
Why?
respect-
Time out.
okay,
No.
before I
End of
go,
this year,
Carl.
I'm telling you.
No. Time out. Why are we gonna put respect on Steph Curry's name? Time out.
Oh, for the few fools that
That's
thought he
Anthony.
couldn't lead a team,
That's for
couldn't
Anthony.
carry a team, all this other nonsense.
Who
Y'all
cares
have
about
to
what
remember
Anthony
his name.
says, bro?
By the end of this, I'm not talking about you. Stop making it about you. It's not about
I
you.
said Anthony, bro.
You said
Clean your
Anthony.
ears.
Not Anthony.
Damn.
Anyone.
Okay,
Anyone.
Mike. So, Mike, are you good at multiple choice tests?
What'd you say?
Are you good at multiple choice tests?
I think so.
Okay, so I got a multiple choice question for you. Who plays in this season first? A, John Wall, B, Kyrie Irving, or C, Ben Simmons?
D, none of the above.
Or D, none of the above?
John Wall, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons.
Or none of the above.
Who is John Wall? Oh, they still trying to trade him. Nobody wants that.
He's
contract.
home. They're all home.
Nobody
Nobody wants that contract.
Bro, he's owed $84 million.
Eric
$84
Adams
million.
already said he ain't changing the law, so Kyrie gonna have to get.
Shit, I'd get $84 million to not play basketball.
Ben Simmons.
Also, they're not. So they're not changing the law.
No,
No,
that's what
bro.
Eric Adams said. He's not changing the law.
following it.
John Wall said
Not
52 times, I want my money. Like 52 times, literally.
Rockets. I don't know anybody who wants the bad contract and the bad knee or the history. So I don't know when he's gonna get.
John Wall has a bad history, not Klay Thompson.
You love Klay Thompson. Are you gonna name your?
You love Klay Thompson, bro.
Yo, I changed the subject. You went right back to
Stop thinking
Klay.
about Klay Thompson. You love him. No, I think it's gonna be Ben Simmons because you see, Joel Embiid is out. The Sixers stink right now. They're getting clapped every night. This is gonna increase that conversation about Ben Simmons and the black cloud and all that. I think I'll take option C. I think Ben Simmons plays first.
All right, Mike. I'll see you next week, man. I'm sorry, I had more to talk about, but this one was just.
Thanks a lot. These
How is that
trolls-
my fault, bro?
Yo, this shit went.
Derailed the
I
basketball
I had
conversation.
a whole list of stuff to talk about. It went completely
Come
left.
on,
but
man.
This is crazy.
How come Mike only get that question? What happened to the other two contributors?
Yeah, facts.
I'm sorry.
Are we not
Okay,
good?
fine.
Are
Same
we not good
question to
enough?
you guys. No, you guys
Are we not
are,
good
but
enough?
I thought I had the
Damn,
conversation
bro.
with you guys before.
Damn, son.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Process
Zach.
of elimination. Everything Mike said. Ben Simmons.
Andres.
The thing is, the Sixers don't care about Ben, bro. It's not gonna be John Wall. Kyrie's not gonna get vaxxed. Let's go
Yeah.
Ben Simmons. Fuck it. Let's go Ben Simmons.
All right, guys. I'll see you next week for the Thanksgiving NBA special, I guess.
Wait, what? There's a
Thanksgiving NBA special.
I
What?
guess I don't know. I guess it's the day before Thanksgiving. So what? We'll have to give thanks for which players
I'm with
we're
it,
thankful
man.
for.
I'm with
Because
it.
y'all,
I'm with it.
you giving the
Listen.
NFL a lot of time.
Thank you, Zig. Let's just make that clear. Like,
I'll talk to y'all
our
soon.
season is going on. Come on, Carlos. Cut it